What's up, all you nerds and turds? Welcome back to Indies Nutz Podcast after another hiatus, which we've been doing entirely too many of. I'm Steve. That's Matt. That's Andy. And we are here to talk about indie games. We're the internet's #1 indie gaming news, reviews, and previews podcast in the entire universe, probably. Welcome. What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Oh,
I missed all your dopey ass faces.
Yeah, I know. You're right, though. We take too many breaks.
Well, okay.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
We went to Utah. Me and Matt went to Utah 2 weeks ago. And last week, both of you bailed on me because Andy, I forget what happened.
I didn't bail. I had my internet. I had literally no internet.
Oh, that's right. Your internet was cock-a-doodle poo-poo.
My cables.
And then it was like you and me, Matt. And he was like, yeah, man. And he was like, no. And I was like, cool.
No, Michelle didn't tell me that she had to go to a play.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well,
she went on a play date?
Yeah, she went to see Beetlejuice.
That's why we're missing.
What a good show Beetlejuice is.
She loved it.
Yeah,
I was a little jealous because she had originally got the tickets for me and her. And then asked me, she was like, can I take Andrea from work instead? And I was like,
So
all right.
What you're saying is, and I want everyone to listen very closely.
Oh, God.
Fuck you, Andrea.
No, I'm sure she's fantastic. I didn't say that. That was not about. That was strictly a Steve thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we do have a pretty girthy, thick show for you here that we're going to try and condense into the next 40 minutes or so for your listening pleasure. What's new on dual screens? Andy, we have something really effing cool up there right now.
Yeah, so we do indie dev interviews a lot. We've done many, one might say,
in audio and video
of the audio and video persuasione. But for the very first time, we have a written one on our website, which was produced by our producer, Colton the Apprentice Nestler.
That's right.
So Colton and I did a little tag team action on this bad boy. Spoke to the dev of Rune Fencer Illyia, which is a current Kickstarter campaign, which is up in like a week. It like amassed $1 jillion. Go check that out when you get a chance. Do they like?
We'll talk about it later, I'm sure.
100K over their funding. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But that's up. Really fun interview. Check it out. It was a labor of love.
What was what was that process like? Because I know you were guiding Colton in
it was way. So essentially, like, I've been talking to this guy for like over a year to try to get him on the show, but he's just like, it's him and his wife making this game, and he's just super busy. But they got a fun story. Like, this game was like on an 8-year hiatus. He like worked in the industry for a long time, then he just up and quit because of crunch. He's like, bye-bye. So I was like, you know what? I want to get his story somehow, if not on the podcast and on the website. So Colton and I kind of talked it out. And I was like, here, give me questions to ask this guy. And I hooked us all up over email, and we've been chatting. And then he sent it out. We got some responses, and I just wrote this bad boy up in a nice, beautiful storytelling format. And it was really nice. And I loved how it turned out.
I just want to say that I read this entire article and completely glossed over Colton's name every single time I read it, apparently, because I did not realize that he was part of this. And that's really awesome that such a stalwart part of our community.
Yeah, Colton has
to get in there and help us.
Yeah, he's got a very chaotic schedule between his job and his family life and like all that stuff. And he's always wanted to be a larger part of dual screens in some way. And this was like the perfect, because you could just kind of check in, check out kind of thing. And I think it worked out really well. And hopefully we can do more of these. So go over to dualscreens.com and give that a clickety click.
It's also a cool way to work around his chaotic schedule, right? You get like a cool article out of it, and it works with how unavailable he can be because of his job and his life.
Indeed. All right, so let's slide into our indie game adventures. I will start us off. I've been playing World Turtles a bit. I forgot to put it in our little tabs, so I'll bring that up for our viewers who are watching on twitch.tv/dualscreenstreams and of course youtube.com/dualscreens TV.
YouTubes.
All right, here we go. World Turtles is a Civ builder that is set on the back of a celestial turtle. Definitely a game that's up my alley. It is, I believe this is still in early access, if I remember correctly, but I played a little bit of it. It's pretty rough around the edges. I wasn't it felt very very obtuse in a lot of its mechanics. I couldn't really tell what the meeple, which is what they're the meeps rather, what the meeps are actually doing, and like how much of it I'm controlling versus what they're going to do naturally. But there's a lot of cool stuff going on here where it's very much like Civ in the way that you have neighboring civilizations that could be hostile towards you and stuff like that, and there's natural disasters that could happen, but essentially you're trying to work together to sort of figure out the best way to go about continuing civilization and advancing civilization without destroying your celestial being that you're riding on top of. It's very much a a cautionary tale about natural resources and stuff like that. I just think it has a lot. I think it has more time to go as far as tutorializing certain things. I think it could benefit from starting a little smaller, giving you cleaner. I would like a more simplistic and cleaner interface. It's very cluttered with information, very like right from the beginning, which could be very intimidating especially when I'm coming from Fabledom, which is the complete opposite. It's all about doing everything in 2 clicks and kind of and getting instant reward for that. Now Fabledom is also much less ambitious as far as its systems go, so they can afford to do that probably a little bit easier, but I would like to see that from World Turtles.
Just looking at like one of the screenshots and a little bit of the gameplay, is it more like Simmy? Like are you commanding like workers to like, okay, go cut these trees down, or
kind of
go gather this stuff?
Kind of. So you can tell them to build certain things, and you'll get little pop-ups that'll be like, hey, we could really use a such and such building. So you just like, and you'll find a plot of land. You can't just build shit. Like you need to build it in specific spots. It needs to connect to certain types of tiles and stuff like that. So right off the bat, you're restricted to what you could actually do. I was trying forever to build a farm, but I couldn't because I had no place to put one. And it wasn't entirely clear on what I needed to do as a player to make the room for a farm. It wasn't until I'm scrolling through the map, just kind of looking around, that I accidentally clicked on a tree. And when I clicked on the tree, tiny little options came up, and one of them was harvest. So I clicked harvest, and then one of the meeps will like drop what they're doing and go over there to start harvesting. But it's not straightforward that if you want something, you have to go and find it, click it. Like I'm used to more of like, you have workers, they're going to go and they're going to find you and find the resources. They're going to bring, if you build a logging, whatever, the people,
they'll go
get it and bring it to the logging. So it's a little bit, like I said, it's just obtuse. It's just not like, they don't say click this tree and click to harvest. Like this game could benefit from that, because something as simple as that should be like something that you pick up right away.
From the looks of it, it looks like the release was May 1st. Yeah. So it's pretty early access. And hopefully
it is an early it's an early access game.
Hopefully they build on it, because I also love these types of games. I'm super into these games like Kingdom and Castles and Banished and all those types of sim builder games. I love that shit.
I don't know how it like I'm not quite sure why the whole World Turtle thing matters. I don't know if it's just the vehicle for a gimmick to like make it somewhat interesting and limited to like the surface area you could play with, but like you can choose to have a massive map. I chose the smaller size so that I could like really get my feet wet, but you could choose medium, large, or whatever. So like, I feel like what's the point really? You know, if you could just change the size, then what is the turtle actually doing? And like a lot of the natural disasters are just stuff that would happen on Earth. It would be like, a fault line is slipping, and then like these rocks would come out of the ground in a certain spot, and then pieces of the rock will roll down and like destroy some buildings you might have near, or it would reveal a spring. So now there's a new natural spring that came because of this fault. But it's like, well, that's Earth stuff. Like, is there any like turtle stuff?
The Earth turtle has been frightened in space, and an earthquake has started because he's hidden his head inside of his shell.
Like, yeah, even something like that. Like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Or you start small and the turtle is eternal and it's growing. It grows bigger, and there's like this uncharted spot, or like it's literally floating in space. Like what if like another, like a piece of old turtle shell, like from a celestial that like died, crashes into your shit, and now you have like another chunk of shell like on your shell. Like stuff like that could be cool.
It does look. Buzz brings up a good point, and it's what I was thinking too. Is it does look kind of like Wandering Village.
Yeah. Wandering Village though idea. Like had, I feel like the gimmick of Wandering Village was a little bit different, because like as the beast is moving, like everything moves. This, you're just floating. It's just Earth. Like it's Earth on the back of a turtle at this point. But
I also feel like it should have a Saturday morning cartoon theme song based on its name alone.
World turtle, world turtle, world turtles, we're the meeps.
World turtle.
Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We are the meeps. Andy, talk to us about...
Wait. Why does that sound like a mild racial slur?
It kind of does. It's like... Yeah, it kind of does.
Fucking meeps.
These fucking meeps over here.
This fucking meep over here hasn't worked a day in his life.
Oh man!
Fucking sucking off the tit of the world turtle.
Yeah, the teat of the world turtle.
That's a good stand-in for any racial slur,
Andreas.
I want to use during the day.
You fucking meep.
Decarnation,
bro.
Talk to us about Decarnation.
Decarnation. This is not hyperbolic when I say this. Hyperbole. It is a 2D Silent Hill. Now wait.
Okay. All right.
Say to yourself, Andy.
I do say to myself, Andy.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
This game actually has 10 tracks composed by the Silent Hill guy, Akira Yamaoka, which kind of blew my mind.
Thank God you knew the name, because
when I saw that. Before I dive into this, I have a fun story to share. So this game is out in, I think, 2 weeks, May 31st. So
May 31st.
It's around
12 days.
Around the corner. So I got the little pressy thing in the inbox, and I was like, holy shit, it's this game. Been following for a long ass time. Another developer on Twitter I've been talking to for God knows how long. So I go to him, hey, congrats, the game's coming out. And he writes back to me, the game's not done yet. I'm freaking out. I was like, it launches in 2 weeks. It's going to be a day one patch. I know it.
I'm freaking out, man.
Indie game dev is a treasure that all people should know more about. And if you want to know more about it, check out the Dual Screens podcast.
And boys, of course, I was like, so, do you want to come on the show next week?
Hey, what's broken?
I know what's broken. I have a whole list. I came with the whole, like, the PR, because I got the review key. So I was like, here's things that may happen to you. I can't get into that too much. But for what I can say is, though, I fucking love this game. It's got amazing art, a haunting soundtrack. It's spooky beyond all measure.
It looks very very creepy.
It is the NES game I wanted as a child. So good.
Can I be off the cuff honest right now?
Sure, go ahead.
It takes a lot for 2D pixel art to scare me for some reason.
Mm.
And I want to love these indie horror games, but I have a really hard time with it because like this one looks very cutesy to me, even though there are like Cthulhian horrors all over a lot of these screenshots.
So this is actually a nice springboard / plug for an interview Steve and I did recently for a game called My Work Is Not Yet Done. We can plug that in somewhere. It's like an even more low scale, like it's black and white pixel art, and it's also finds a way like this game to be scary.
Andy,
because I think the visuals like lure you in, like, oh, how can this possibly be scary?
Sure.
But then when you're like watching the story unfold and shit happens, it actually terrifies you.
Fair. All right. I need you right now, not right now.
At some point.
I need you to make me like a top 3 list of indie horror games that you think, based on my conversation with you right now, I would not think are very scary, that you think I should definitely play.
That look like this, or is any indie horror game?
I want at least one like this on there.
Happy's Humble Burger Farm.
I feel like you would like Camp Sunshine off the bat. I'm throwing that out to you.
Okay. All right. We won't count that on the list. I'll take that as it is.
That's a bonus. Oh, Happy's Humble is a good game.
I scroll by it on the Steam library all the time.
Yeah. You should at least play that until you get to the first boss, because it's a lot of fun.
Okay. All right.
Very creepy.
I'm wrong. I know that I'm in the wrong here. Right?
Yeah. What is wrong? You know, what is wrong when it comes to opinions?
That's fair. There's a couple. Say. There's a few.
You can't few anything. What do you know about things?
I'll make you a good list, Matthew. Quick and nasty.
All right.
You'll be.
So I like it, Andy.
And all those games will likely be on my Steam, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Steam.
Manu, talk to me about Beyond the Long Night.
What a weird fucking game this is. It's really good. But it is also extremely difficult.
It's got a banner. Go ahead.
Talk. So this is like a 2D, very light roguelike, where you're just playing this guy, you're floating around this inside of a mountain, and you're trying to make your way out to the surface. And people are like, listen, man, you don't fucking want to go there. It's fucking shitty, and it sucks, and we've been trying, and it's terrible.
Agreed.
And every single night, the long night comes for us, and the long night is this eternal cycle that kills everything every single night, and they all come back to life. And they're in like different spots. But so you're going around talking to these characters. There are like storylines that you can progress with each of them, and they'll net you like different rewards, different skills, different synergies, possibly.
Synergies. My buttons.
That was anticlimactic.
No, the gameplay is very like it presents itself as floaty, but it's very just like Isaac-y, like a room, and you're kind of traveling around and you're floating around. Your health is depicted by your balloons, and you have like a basic shot that can turn into a bunch of different things based on what you pick up. It is extremely difficult. There is a timer on the long night, and so the longer you stay in each area, you'll see it like coming on the minimap, like the rooms will start turning red, and then a room like you're in will turn red, and you'll start taking damage, and you're like trying to escape the long night and get as far up the mountain as you can before the long night takes you. And it is like unnerving, because you'll have like the minimap, and you're looking at like the your grid of like 9 fucking rooms. Then all of a sudden, like one of them turns red, and you're like, "What the fuck? I feel like I haven't been playing that long. Holy shit, I gotta go," because you've just been around collecting a bunch of shit. Like money and all kinds of stuff, power ups, consumables, all kinds of shit.
But I think this might be a metaphor for life. We just go around collecting shit.
Sure is.
Until we die.
Eternally, and we die and die over and over again and come back. but there's a lot of charm to the art style, and there's a lot of charm to the characters and the writing. There's a lot of really funny little like conversations that you can have with the NPCs of the world. Like one guy, you meet him and he's like, yeah, I got a fucking farm here, but these cows, they kind of suck, but if you give me some money, they might give you some philosophical advice. And so, like, you talk to him, you give him a bunch of money, he gives you an item from his pool, and then you can go down and talk to the cows, and the cows are like, hey, man, just, like, it's cool. Just stay chill. It's going to be fine.
It's all right.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry about
it's all good.
There's nothing to worry about.
Why worry when you could
be
just
okay.
you're gonna die tonight anyway, you know?
The art in this game is also really rad. There are some simulated pixels, so like you can set stuff on fire, and the fire spreads in a very natural way, kind of like that game Forest Fire that I brought on the show a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And consumables are like a huge part of your arsenal because your regular bullets might not do enough damage, and so you're picking up these torches all over the place, hucking them, and like skulls that are bombs, and you fucking throw them. And there's some really cool puzzles.
Is the mountain trying to kill you because it's more dangerous outside, or is it the people of the mountain are trying to kill you because
so here's the
they
thing.
don't want you to leave?
For all of the like weird NPC exposition that happens within their own stories and them telling you about the mountain, it is extremely enigmatic. Like beyond the long night, beyond the game itself and being in the mountain and knowing that like the long night is a thing that happens, I have no idea what the story of the long mountain is, the long night is, why it exists yet. I haven't gotten that far, but it is a really good time. It is very difficult. I've died a lot in just the first area. Never mind, there's like different biomes. Never mind like the second or third area. But yeah, I would suggest it. It's very, very fun. Really cool music.
Yeah.
Great art. Great NPCs.
Yuth
Super
now.
I'll have some Void Train news next week.
Void Train, as train as the void goes.
I played a little bit of it, and that game is fucking rad. I'll tell you that much.
I can't wait to hear all about it. I have a sneeze coming on.
If I can put Zelda down.
Yes, that indie game,
God.
Zelda.
That indie game from indie
favorite
devs.
Small,
indie game.
independent developed video game.
If this wasn't indie focused, I would just talk about Zelda.
I'm aware. All right, let's talk about some news before we get into the wishlist roundup, which is basically going to be our last news story melted into wishlist roundup because it's all about the Humble Game Showcase, everything that was announced. We're going to talk about those. We're going to watch those. We're going to have that B-roll rolling. Couple of things of news. WrestleQuest has been delayed to the summer, and they have released a new demo to the Steam store, which I believe I would think is going to be the demo that was at PAX, because that was specifically made for PAX, and it was really, really beefy. Like, I know that if I wanted to, I could have spent well over an hour on that demo. So here's their press release here. Friends, wrestlers, and cat aficionados, we come bearing updates. We cannot wait for you all to finally jump in and explore all of WrestleQuest after 4 years and 200,000 original word count, many power bombs to settle disputes, and countless gallons of baby oil. We're down to the final stretch of development. The WrestleCats have been busy performing multiple focus groups and gathering hours of playtesting feedback to get the game to style and profile. Woo! I added the woo. The added time has allowed us to go back to our wish list and add in new and improved features like an entirely redone UI, accessibility options, and fully updated world map, enhanced visuals, more sweat, and a gorilla press quantity of game balancing. With 50 plus hours of gameplay content, it is something we are incredibly proud of, and we are eager to share WrestleQuest with the world. Now, you remember their previous date was going to be, it was just May of 2023. So as we race towards May 2023 finish line, to bring this giant of a game up to the standards across all up to our standards across all platforms, we also secured a new partnership we are extremely excited about. Unfortunately, this development also resulted in certain issues outside of our control. As such, we wanted to get an update out to everyone that has continued to wave their foam fingers in anticipation. After discussions with Skybound, we agreed we will be moving the launch of the game to the summer. We are expecting to announce the official shiny new confirmed date later this month. While we are disappointed that we couldn't share the entirety of WrestleQuest with you sooner like we hoped, we firmly believe this is the right choice with respect to our players and the sweat, and more sweat, sorry, that we have poured into building the best game we have ever made. We can't wait for you to get your hands on it. So yeah, the new updated demo, which I will play again very soon, because that game is a hell of a lot of fun. I'm excited. I mean, it's okay. They're allowed to delay things.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree.
Delay while I play Zelda, by all means. I don't care.
Please.
Truth.
He's gonna eat my life for the next month at least.
Another update. This comes from This is for V Rising. They sent out a press release yesterday that the Secrets of Gloom Rot has been released. This is the official update number 1.
Wow, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Stunlock Studios has announced today that V Rising's highly anticipated first major update, Secrets of Gloom Rot, is out today. This free update marks the celebration of the 1-year anniversary of V Rising's highly successful early access launch, which has led to mass critical acclaim and selling over 3 million copies. Let's do their bullet points here. It's Gloom Rot is a colossal new zone featuring 2 distinct regions contorted via the pursuit of sinister science. You can build epic castles. With this update comes multi-level castles. So if you remember when you play V Rising, you can make 1 floor. Now they're adding stairs, and you can build multiple levels and crazy shit. Finally, too, you have the tools to make your mighty citadel worthy of your power. Enter Gloom Rot, a massive new zone with 2 unique areas twisted in the pursuit of cruel science. Journey through noxious valleys and thunderstruck highlands, confronting grotesque experiments and robotic marvels born from the twisted minds of Transcendum. Explore a revamped world. Vordarin has been reimagined from beautiful new vistas that house terrifying and mystifying new enemies to cursed, choking mists that wraps the cursed forest experience. You can discover the human-infested lands as if it's your first time again. And now here are the 2 biggest updates, aside from the new areas. Evolved combat. Confront these new threats with an ascended spell system that has been revamped to make each spell school feel unique, including the new storm magic. Modify your magic with new spell jewels. Cut down waves of enemies with the sweeping strikes of the greatsword, or go for black powder devastation with dual pistols. And they added 13 new bosses. 30 new enemy types and 13 new V-Blood bosses can be found across the land. Defeat them in epic showdowns so you can drink their blood and gain their knowledge and abilities.
It's super cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely jumping back in.
I said I make sure it was installed on my computer, and it is. So
one of the things that I'm reading in their patch notes too is there are spell jewels, which players can now find and add additional perks to a spell, so you can even change up your playstyle even more on top of the revamped combat system.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was part of the sentence that I read where it says modify your magic with new spell jewels.
Remember that time that
did you not hear that part?
Can't hear you sometimes.
You didn't hear that part? That's because you were reading.
I was. It's true. That's exactly why it was. It's 100% true.
Yeah.
This update seems dope. I never had a real problem with V Rising, but if I were to nitpick a little bit, the combat was one of them where I felt like everybody was going to get the same stuff. Your loadout could change a little bit. Like there was enough spells where people could have slightly different loadouts, but a lot of the spells kind of felt samey, and I don't know,
was meta. There was like, if you pick this power, you can, kill everything, and you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pick that thing. Which, there are in all ARPGs, but I felt like it was very focused in this one where build diversity wasn't really, it's not possible, but it was less focused.
Diversity.
Taylor.
All right, so let's get in real quickly into the Humble Games showcase announcements here. The huge one that I have just a humble boner over is Wizard of Legend 2.
Yes.
Which I am going to I have to redo the old
I love that. I love this so much.
It looks so good.
Yeah. It like okay. Listen. That first game, one of the more difficult action RPGs out there.
So satisfying.
But it is so freaking good. And just getting more of it where it's just refined and just, oh my God, it's beautiful.
Graphical updates, just everything looks amazing.
We doing the 3D.
Like, have you ever wanted to live a roguelike Avatar, like The Last Airbender? Mm-hmm. Fucking play Wizard of Legend, because there's so many spells and so many different varieties of spells in each tool and so many different builds to put together. It is like, and it's fun. It's like Soulsy in a weird way. And just fucking, if you haven't played it, go play that and be excited for this fucking game. It's gonna be so good.
No release date announced, but it's on my wish list and it should be on yours as well. Lost Skies was also announced. This looks really freaking cool. This looks like something to me that like PlayStation would have bought to like make exclusive to play PS5. Like that's what this looked like to me. It's an action adventure open world crafting game.
Yeah, this looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're watching the trailer, which has a lot of cel shaded or like anime style art, but they will show some gameplay in here, I believe. At least they did in the
there's a little bit right at the end.
Yeah,
so
right
it's like a little,
so
you could
see what I mean by like this feels like something that would be like something Sony would want. You know what I mean? It just has that feeling. They like their third person adventure games, you know.
It's from the maker of I Am Bread.
I Am Bread. Yes.
What?
Here we go. Here's the teaser part. There you go. It is a cooperative survival adventure for 1 to 6 players.
That's crazy.
Set in the cities amongst the clouds. Pretty dope.
Right? It's like
what? What's wrong with I Am Bread?
There's zero things. There are zero things wrong with I Am Bread.
Do you see a game that looks like this coming out of the guys that made I Am Bread?
100%.
This is like
you know how hard it is to make bread?
This is like Yui Bowl making a Godfather movie.
Oh, it's so good though.
Stray Gods.
It looks awesome.
Love that.
Stray Gods, the role-playing musical.
You guys.
I actually didn't watch this one yet, so I kind of want to put sound on.
Very Saturday morning cartoon in the greatest way.
Or
actually like very like Adult Swim.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Saturday night cartoons.
Yeah.
From the lead writer of Dragon Age. Gods, romance, murder, musical numbers. Play as Grace in a world where Greek gods live in hiding among us. Change your fate as you draw friends, foes, and lovers into song using your powers of musical persuasion to unravel the mystery of the last muse's death. I am in, like Flynn, August 3rd. I will be there, and I will be, this game will be in my face.
I was 110% looking at the wrong trailer.
Well,
listen, have you seen the cast in this game? It kind of
look a little bit like Archer.
Kind of insane. Laura Bailey, Troy Baker,
yeah.
Felicia Day.
All of them. Keep reading.
This is insane. Ashley Johnson.
All of them.
Who else we got? So many people.
All of those voice actors and that do all the D&D and like all
if
of
you're
the
on
fun
Critical
shit.
Role, you're in this game.
Yeah, basically. Awesome looking game. And I'm very excited for it. Next on the fisticle, Cataclysmo. This is a RTS base building game that comes from Digital Sun. Sun, Andy. Digital Sun?
Is this their
My
next
ears
one?
up.
I guess so.
These guys they're like the Insomniac of indie developers. They don't
just
stop, do they?
Just don't stop, man.
And this looks really fucking good.
It does look really fucking good.
You know what, you guys? It does look really fucking good.
It does.
I thought you were gonna take the swerve there, Steve. You know what, you guys?
Wrong, sir.
I think this is awful.
I think this is absolute horseshit.
The Cataclysmo left us broken. Construct fortresses and defend against waves of horrors in this mix of tower defense and real-time strategy. Lead an expedition beyond the gates of the last city and reclaim mist-shrouded ruins as you rebuild humanity, stone by stone.
This feels like an evolution of those Kingdom games. Have you ever played those, like Kingdom 2 Crowns?
Of course.
Yeah. It feels like a cool evolution of like that style of game.
I like video games, you guys.
Me too, man.
I'm a big fan of what's going on in the world as it pertains to video games.
Yeah.
This trailer does not show anything, by the way. But we can look
not
at
really. But
see.
We know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Right.
We know the pedigree.
Did you, son? What up? Did you, son? Hey.
These guys make good shit.
Blood. Hashtag blood.
This is the trailer I was looking
Also, like, if you look
I want this game right now.
Looks so good.
It's coming out next year, though, unfortunately. Save your friends, fight off the vampire apocalypse, and survive the horrors of freshman field hockey practice in hashtag blood. BLUD. A delightfully zany animated dungeon crawler that blurs the line between action RPGs and hyperkinetic 90s cartoons. That is the description that is correct. Like,
God.
You look at this thing, and I'm like, oh, this is a Cartoon Network game.
Yeah, so that's why I was saying that
it's
before.
It's like Powerpuff Girls or like Fairly Odd Parents kind of like style. I love it.
Absolutely.
It's gory as fuck. I have already emailed these people. I need it in my life.
I love everything about this game.
Yeah.
And I want to be friends with it. Like, I want this game to be something that I could speak to every day.
I love, like, she's got like Battletoads giant fists of fury going on when she punches enemies and kicks them.
Yeah, the animation overall in this trailer and like the animation of the combat is incredible.
Exit 73 Studios.
She's like lobbing pencils at people's heads. It's fucking ridiculous.
By the way, all these games published by Humble, which is amazing.
Yeah,
I forgot Humble like straight up does that now. And
for a while.
This right here might make them like my favorite indie publisher. Like this list of games that they put up.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say this particular game.
Every one of these games that they announced is just banana land. Bo, Path of the Teal something. Sorry, I can't see it. Path of the Teal Lotus. There it is. This I did not actually get to see anything of, so I'll be watching this live with you guys. You're a celestial blossom. Your earring is your weapon. Enter a graceful flow state with acrobatic aerial combat while exploring a deep, mysterious world based on Japanese folklore. This is from Squid Shock Studios. And there's somebody else on here. Christopher Stair and Trevor Youngquist. This looks really pretty. And aerial acrobatic pew 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 combat sounds like something the three of us would be really into. I want to see some gameplay here.
Amazing artwork.
Get to the other. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, beautiful. Very very Paper Mario-esque in its delivery of the art. Oh man, really gorgeous. Cool. Yeah, really, really cool. I'm always down for action platformer, action games like this, action adventure games. So, action adventure platformer. Yeah, that's on my list for sure. Let me click that right now. Bing. We have two more to talk about. Breeze in the Clouds.
You guys.
Yes.
It's like, what if Captain Planet was a dog? That's what this game is.
I will be
command the power of weather.
I will be right back. I am sorry. Continue the show.
We'll continue.
I know. I'm sorry.
We'll continue. Go do what you got to do.
Dads
have to dad. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. God. If I had to dad right now, Andy would be doing the show alone. If Cujo started choking on a ham bone, I would be doing the show solo right now.
Cujo's slacking. He's not fucking busting heads and like taking names.
Like I know.
This dog is in this trailer.
This dog is like straight up doing.
Look at him go.
Yeah. Become a force of nature in a stylish, combo-fueled 2D action adventure. Jump, brawl, and command the powers of weather as Breeze, a scrappy and courageous corgi, swept away from his regular life to fight pollution in a fantastic world in the clouds where animal forces control the weather.
I need it.
Captain Corgi, he's our hero, gonna shake his booty down to 0.
Look at him go.
This looks like one of those
wish listing
like B-list Disney cartoons.
Yeah,
like the ones that were on at like 1 p.m. so nobody was home from school yet. But
yeah, the ones that aired before like Chip and Dale.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like after Bonkers.
Yeah. Fucking Bonkers. Remember Bonkers? My goodness.
Fucking Bonkers was a good show.
What a show. And that was the last one. I had another tab open for Beyond the Long Night, so that was the last one. Looks adorable.
Good shit, man.
I'm down to clown with all of these games.
To your point, Humble Games is really up in their game.
Oh yeah, they are. Oh, it's already on my wish list. Dope.
Good job, guys.
I already had this on my wish list somewhere.
Giving me all the future guests.
Stormy Nights Interactive LLC, limited liability company. Mm-hmm. They are creating this game, and I love this game.
It's their first game too.
I love the way I don't know. I love beat 'em ups, and this seems like it's more of like a side scrolly beat 'em up.
It's a cute 'em up.
Yeah. And they have a partnership. They announced a partnership with Xbox Game Pass. So
even better.
Humble and Game Pass coming together to hug and make indie game babies. So we already spoke about Rune Fencer Illyia, their Kickstarter and our interview that's on the website. But right now, as our Kickstarter of the week, they're $133,000 in with 6 days to go. Just under 3,000 backers. What was their original goal? 35,000.
35K.
Wow. Yeah,
that's
amazing.
insanity.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
They hit their PlayStation port, additional languages, Coliseum mode, boss rush and more bosses, Xbox port, extended OST. They had the Xbox port at 75,000 and the PlayStation at 130,000. So extra area, more NPCs and quests, and they're trying to hit expanded post game and master mode. They're also trying to hit frog mode plus more mini games and Acrian mode with 3 new playable characters. That's the $200,000 mode, and it says you swap between the characters in that mode. But yeah, this game looks really cool. Mode.
I'm gonna play the hell out of this game when it comes out.
We featured this already once before, if I remember correctly.
Yes, we have.
Yeah,
I think it was when they first launched their campaign.
Yeah. So that's in there, and now Andreas Asimakas, Koa,
yes.
and the 5 Pirates of Mara.
Speaking of like kicking ass on Kickstarter,
good lord.
Look at this
Kickstarter. This one has just over 2 weeks to go. It's got 15 days. $240,000 raised of 32,000.
Jesus Christ.
This is a 3D action adventure platformer type game, very reminiscent of the 3D platformers of old. Man. Mara Horchata outfit was unlocked at $220,000. Yeah.
I just love how this genre just won't ever die because it's one of the best genres, the 3D platformer.
Well, when it's done well, like
right,
it's great. When it's done poorly, it's wholly forgettable and nobody talks about it again. Like that's just how it is, right?
Yeah.
Like Ukulele. Remember Ukulele?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Because you know why?
I don't at all.
I remember the name.
I erased it from my memory because it was
Ukulele. That was a shit.
Actually,
game.
It wasn't even bad. It was just
again
basic.
It was mediocre.
Very,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like the mediocre in this genre are not going to shine. You need to do it right.
Of all the ochres, it was definitely the meatiest.
Yes, it was the medium medio. And that's going to bring us to the end of the show. So we did it. Wow, look at that.
Fucking broke, guys.
We did it.
I had to run there for a minute.
It happens. You're a dad. You got to do dad things.
Every time we do this show, I realize how much more money I need to play all the things I want.
There's too much stuff, man.
Well, games.
If we get these developers on Dual Screens podcast, you know, they usually hook us up with a copy or two, so that helps us off.
Sure.
That helps us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. Remember, you could support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/dualscreens, just like our Patreon producer and now new staff writer, Colton the Apprentice Nestler.
Hey.
Remember, little as $1 gets you some bonus content. Don't worry, there will be Steve's Thoughts will be returning. I am inundated with work and have been doing a lot of stuff outside of like sitting down and recording, but I do have many topics that I'm going to be recording very soon. So you could keep your eyes and ears open for that. We have some early access that's going to go up very soon as well. I have 2 shows recorded that I don't think are up on YouTube yet, so those will go up in the audio form on Patreon soon. And you're going to get also the pre-show of this show. 8 minutes of us just talking about random shit, sometimes talking about technical stuff. It's fun. We have a good time.
Shooting the shit.
Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Matt. And as always, please be excellent to each other.